special primary election for the county executive seat is just 2 weeks away. CTV continues to bring exclusive one-on-one interviews with each of the candidates. Joining us today in the studio is candidate Albert Slocum. Mr. Slocum, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Scott.
Well, it's a big crowded field, as you know. Talk about why you decided to enter the crowded field, and some of whom have been in this race for a while.
Yes. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Prince George's County for about 25 years, originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I started off in the public school system. My mother inspired me as far as being a community activist, and then from there, I took that lead and started getting involved with youth, with a program called Youth Tutoring Youth, which is a program in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So that's very near and dear to me because today's youth need mentoring. And from that standpoint, I attended high school, regional vocational technical high school, learned a trade, carpentry and construction. Was motivated to want better because we came from a large family, mine being the youngest of 10 siblings. And we were living in poverty. We were living in affordable housing. And as a result of that, I wanted more, I wanted better. So I relocated, went to Howard University, got my BBA in finance, and then went on to Bowie State University, got my Master of Arts in Human Resource Development. As a long life county resident, I saw that change needed to be taken, and I decided, okay, in 2018, if you're gonna get things done, you might as well run instead of being on the sidelines. And I got tired of being tired, and I'm sure many of you are feeling the same way. And if you want change, real change in the county, you have to do things just on your own.
Well, talk about, sir, for a minute, if you will. What sets you apart specifically from the others? Because again, you have a former county executive who's running, you have a council member who's running, a state attorney who's running. What sets you apart from them and the other candidates specifically?
My experience in corporate America for over 30 years. I have a background in business development, I have a background in economics, I have a background in finance and budgeting, as well as HRD. And those are the components that will help you become very successful in this role. As far as my exposure, life's experience will help you understand the moving pieces that we need to get things done here in the county. And then, of course, my education, as I mentioned, in addition to being an alumnus of Howard University and Bowie State University, I went to New York University and received my Master of Science in Real Estate Development, which is very key in our infrastructure here in the county.
One of the candidates is a former county executive who says he can hit the ground running. He's been in that seat for a while, had been. What makes you think that you can hit the ground running better than he can?
Well, because he doesn't have the background or exposure that I do. And as far as getting things up and running, I can start day one because of my business acumen, and that's key. I can't say the same for the former county executive. He had his chance, and we've already seen what he was able to do.
Let's talk about your plan for the first 100 days. You want to hit the ground running, as you say you can do the first day. First 100 days, what will you accomplish?
Well, first things first, we need to make sure that our budget is balanced. And I will make sure that I work with every agency to see what reorganizational aspects we need to have. Secondly, we need to focus on the primaries. The priorities are the priorities. We can take a portion of that budget, instead of putting it into high-end areas, we can reallocate it in areas that will work and make it more optimal for the county. Things like providing senior programs, social services, also helping out as far as job creation, because when we invest in the community, they're able to pour back in. And we need to keep our dollars recycling within our community so that our local businesses can thrive.
Speaking of dollars, we're talking about a $170 million budget deficit. What is your plan for dealing with that specifically, rather than just saying we need to look at what's going on? What would you do to deal with that budget deficit?
Well, first things first, we definitely have to visit the line items so that they don't occur again. I believe that there's mismanagement of how those funds are allocated. Secondly, we need to look at our resources and make sure that they're at optimal levels. And then thirdly, we need to come up with ways to generate revenue. The county does not have anything that's proprietary. We need to be able to say, hey, look, what can we do well, and then own it, and then be able to provide those services and products for a profit, pretty much like the United States Patent Trade Office, where they're able to, provide services and make millions of dollars. So we need to basically get that up and running.
Going back to the deficit, would you raise taxes or issue cuts in services?
No reduction, and hear my words. there will be no reduction as far as I'm concerned, and I will fight to make sure that it doesn't happen. What I will do is increase our commercial tax base. Right now, we have 70% at the residential. We need 70% at the commercial. We need to flip-flop that so that we're at optimal revenue levels.
You raise taxes?
On the commercial side, and on those
residential, would you raise taxes?
No, I will not. I will not. In fact, I want to decrease those taxes and give folks a break.
Now, in terms of getting businesses into the county, what's your plan for doing that?
Well, I've visited Wall Street, and again, I work for large corporations, multi-billion-dollar companies who are from Wall Street. So one of the things is building those relationships and making it attractive, because Prince George's has to be the place to be.
So is the county going in the right direction? And if not, how would you change that specifically?
From top down, there's transparency, accountability, and performance. And I mean, results do matter. So from a leader with a transformational leadership style, I would have to prune some branches if we have to. For those who do not want to work in the county and provide customer service and treat our residents with the utmost respect, those would be the first that would have to recompete for their positions. Secondly, we have to look at everything from transportation, infrastructure, transportation, utilities. People are complaining about our quasi-government as far as PEPCO and WSSC. So we have to look at that and give people some encouragement, empowerment, so that morale is higher. And with respect to that, they'll get involved, and then engaging them from a community standpoint will help the county overall as well.
We have about 2 minutes left here. Talk about the federal layoffs that may impact the county. How would you counter that? Because that's going to be a reduction of taxes coming in. People may need services. How would you deal with that challenge?
Great. And I'm glad you asked that, Mr. Scott. Our federal employees, they are family. Despite the fact that they work for the federal government, they still live here in Prince George's County. And they are part of our thrive in 2025 and beyond. And if I'm elected, I will make sure that they take advantage of the resources that we have: social services, job creation, training, and even helping them redirect their transferable skills into roles that are applicable to what they want to do. And if they want to start businesses, well, we have an opportunity. Madam Senator Alsobrooks has what is called the WAVE. And there's the Economic Development Initiative as well, which can pour into those type of businesses to help those that want to start their own business. So together, we have to work together to make Prince George's first, which is going to build us to become Prince George's strong.
Last question here. Why should the voters put you in the office?
I believe that I've been in their shoes in so many different ways, and they're tired of being tired just like I am. They want real change. They want someone who knows what they're doing day one, who understands budget, who understands building a stream of cash flow from a standpoint of helping out our communities, building our social services, supporting individuals with disabilities, supporting our seniors with respect to having economically advantageous housing. And that is from a standpoint of not only just seniors, but those with housing insecurities, and then individuals that are working or the working poor. So I represent them.
Okay, Mr. Slocum, thank you very much. Primary set for March 4th. All the best. Michaela, back to you.